Welcome back to 3P's Pod Memphis, where we don't just talk about basketball, we talk about life outside the game. Sad news today in the sports world, especially for Memphis fans. Memphis is really hurting right now. The old heads always used to say, man, the good die young, because God always calls his favorite back home to him. And I most definitely believe that this young man, Brandon Clarke, was one of his favorites, most definitely. And today, it just feels so heavy, so real. Memphis' own Brandon Clarke passes away at the age of 29 years old, and no full official report yet on the cause of death. But it's rumored that it could have been a drug overdose. And I already know what the stigma around it is. It's been concerns about potential suicide, and I hope that's not the case. But you never know in those situations. We see athletes as superheroes, but they just humans too. Pressure, expectations, silence. It's just a lot that could weigh on people. Um, it's just sorry, just a little bit emotional right now. Not just this. In my own life, it was a lot going on, but I did want to give
Hey,
Brandon
make sure y'all get I'm walking with a goat right here.
his moment of silence. A few highlights, as you know, we all like to do. Just an incredible athlete, incredible run he had here in Memphis and Gonzaga. Um, Rest in peace, Brandon Clarke. But yeah, like I said, many people like to look at athletes as superheroes, more than just human. Like they don't have the emotions that everyday people have. Like they don't feel pressure, expectations, silence, anxiety. We all do, and mental health really matters. Everybody should check on their people. And I know as a man growing up in this world, especially growing up in Memphis, you really learn how to just be that a man. Life is not gonna cut you any slack. You're not gonna have the how I should say, you're not gonna be put in the proper position to start off as many other people, especially as a black man in America, but especially as a black man in Memphis, period. So everything you work for, you're fighting for it. It's a dog fight for it, and you're trying to keep it from others that look like you, people who don't look like you, people who are less fortunate than you. Sometimes probably just want to take it from you. Other than that, people who are more fortunate than you may be envious of you having the things that you have and not wanting you to be in the same rooms that they are in. And that's just life, period. And there's so much jealousy, so much corruption, so much ill will and weakness in this world. People who just keep their head down, people who have a good heart, people who just want to do the right thing, they seem to get trampled along the way in this life. And it's not good at all, honestly. It's so sad that, people who mean well are so scared to come out, so scared to be themselves. It's not it's not a good it's not a good place. And lately my mind has really been everywhere, dealing with school, dealing with work, my kids, dealing with life in general. Sometimes it does become overwhelming, and we all have our own issues that we deal with. But I'm letting everybody know now that it's okay to not feel okay sometimes. It's okay to go through things. It's just a part of life. And me, not much to talk. I mean, I do take proper precautions. I do worry about my mental health, but I'm one of those guys who I know, like, I'm independent. Don't really have a lot of friends besides the guys that you see on the pod. Those are really my only two friends, my brothers. I have other people that I'm close with. But other than that, man, I go through the days, handle my business, not really on my phone that much unless I'm posting, not on the phone talking to anybody, don't really having, those conversations like, are you okay? Not really. I mean, because I'm just going through the motions at times and so much happens back to back. I'm sure it's like that for a lot of people that you just going through the motions. You don't have time to stop and pause and think about what's going on. You try to solve the situation and keep going and have as little collateral damage as possible. It's hard out here in life, honestly, and it gets harder. The price of living is going up. It's very stressful, and everybody just trying to stay heads above water. And I commend everybody for that. Like I said, sending a prayer, sending special blessings out to everybody out there who's watching this, who maybe not watch this. Um, it's just still fun. I know I really haven't gotten into basketball talk yet, but I just wanted to take this time out and talk about this because honestly, if I have built this platform for myself and I can't even be safer, then what's the point of it? So it's just that honestly, I feel like this should be a space where everybody should feel safe at. Men, especially, like to take. We really don't have many other vows, especially me, to express ourselves. So we mainly hone in on sports or automobiles or something like that, anime. We keep it simple, try to stay focused on that because as a man, we know how life is. You don't have many people. The word love, oh my goodness, it's very rare. That's pretty much a fairy tale, honestly. Main thing in life you just focus on now, especially me at this age, is loyalty. Like, just be loyal to me and just show me that you there for me. I don't need to hear no bullshit. I ain't the facade. I'm not really with all that, and that's probably why I really don't have a lot of people around me in life. I'm not with all the extra stuff. Like try to stay zero tolerance as possible because so much stuff happening in life, so many mistakes that I have to fix myself that I can't, afford to have somebody else make mistakes for me. And a lot of us end up in a position where we tend to be that listening ear or that shoulder to cry on for everybody else, and people tend to think that we are strong. And when we going through things, they don't ask the same questions about us because they believe that we're strong and we got it and we can go through it. And it's not always the case, but we tell ourselves it's like that too because, like, at the end of the day, what are you gonna do? Like, it's just hard. So I want everybody to take time out their day, time out their week, and just um do a check on yourself. Ask yourself, are you okay? If you're not, look into what could be the next steps to making you okay. And this all I got to say on this topic. We're gonna talk on something a little bit more uh, lighter this evening. And with that in mind, let's talk about what we just witnessed tonight. Cavs win 117-113 in a final overtime victory. It was just freaking amazing. The series is now Cavs lead 3-2. Detroit is now facing elimination for the first time in the playoffs, for the fourth time in this playoffs. That's a big storyline for sure because they were down in the Orlando series. They had to fight back from 3-1. Now they were up 2-0 in this Cavs series and have lost the past 3 games straight. Is this time to press the panic button in Detroit? Because I thought all the home teams were going to hold court. And, they pulled this off. The Cavs really won this game on this incredible run. Late in the overtime, we're gonna get into it later. James Harden had 30 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 21 points for Donovan Mitchell. Evan Mobley added 19 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 blocks, 16 points, 10 rebounds from Jared Allen, and 20 points from Max Strus. He had 6 threes tonight. It was just an incredible performance all around for the Cavs. 1 through 5, the whole starting five showed up. Their bench showed up to help them clinch this 3-2 series lead. Cade Cunningham, the Pistons had 39 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds in his loss. Jenkins had 19 points. Tobias Harris had 13 points. One of his lowest efficiency games in his playoffs period. For the past couple of games, since the first series, Tobias Harris has been dropping pretty much like 18 points a game. You can cue him in for a solid 20 for the past few games. No lie, Tobias Harris has been hitting. He has been a fucking bucket. And it's been delightful to see for Unc to come out there and been doing his motherfucking thing. But Cade Cunningham went crazy but still lost. Another strong angle for this game. There's a lot to look at because Detroit defense showed up. Asar Thompson was just every fucking where. He was doing everything he could to keep them in this game, to keep that lead. And it was just the offensive lures for the Detroit Pistons. And we talked about this so many times during this season. If Cade Cunningham doesn't have it going, then where is Detroit? And that seems to be the issue going on. They have to find other scoring options outside of Cade Cunningham. Tobias Harris didn't show up to the party, but Jenkins did. They have to find more consistent scoring options outside of Tobias Harris. And Jalen Duren has just been no fucking word this whole playoffs. Just a bad game for him. He's nowhere even on the stat sheet. Paul Reed had 10 points and 8 rebounds. So that just means I didn't even think to add Jalen Duren to this. Is how bad he's been. He just been a non-factor, I say. But like I said, the game was won on this run.
This is the sequence that won the motherfucking game. This is when JB Bickerstaff Wi-Fi signal booster box head ass knew they fucked up. No! Man, why he move his feet like that? Ain't nobody even there.
Fact.
Then you know Coco at the game. What that is, mama? Cash.
Cash, like I said, cash.
But wait, there's more. He robbed him. He grabbed him. He stole him. Man, Detroit and them out there lost.
And there was just a 6-point swing in 7 seconds in the game that gave the Cavs not just a 2-point lead, but what was that? Plus the 3, a 7-point lead in the game, and it's crazy. 2:45 left in overtime, and that's what happened. That small change in pace, change in momentum, really caused them the game. Cade Cunningham did come down the court late, add a 3, but they did change it to a 2 later on, and they end up losing this game. Great effort, no cap, from the Pistons. They just fell short. I believe they can bounce back in game 6, but we'll see. Just a real back-breaking run for that play there. That was just real. That's why I say I feel like this what won them the game. But we have some more going on. Last night, the Spurs win big, and here's why. Victor Wembanyama went the fuck off. 27 points, 17 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks. Count them up. Wemby was very dominant last night, and it looked like he was a dog. He just wanted it. You can see right there in the picture, he was locked in. He was locked in. It is very nice to see for the young 22-year-old defensive player of the year. Keldon Johnson added 21 points. De'Aaron Fox added 18 points, 5 assists. Stephon Castle added 17 points, 6 assists. Devin Vassell added 12 points. Dylan Harper added 12 points and 10 rebounds. He had a double-double. Been a great showing, great debut in the playoffs for the young rookie. And it's just been very great to see for this young Spurs core, from Dylan Harper to Wemby to Fox is still kind of young, even though he kind of a vet right now. Champagne, Vassell, just all of them. The guys have been out there hooping. They've been showing that they are ready for this moment. That is not a fluke. That this is here. They are here. They have arrived. Especially their main man, who's anchoring it all. Especially their defense, Victor Wembanyama. But before we get into him, hold on, wait, pause. Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves last night in their loss. Anthony Edwards put up 20 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Julius Randle added 17 points, 10 rebounds. Jaden McDaniels, 17 points, 6 rebounds. Ayo had 16 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 12 points and 5 rebounds from Naz Reid, 4 points and 5 rebounds from Rudy Gobert. One team had control, the other had effort, but not enough. This the main storyline for this series. Really for this game, honestly. How things went like I said, we're gonna get into the Victor Wembanyama clip. Look how he just saucing up Rudy Gobert. Really nothing he could do down there with him on neither end. Couldn't stop him defensively. Can't put points up on him offensively to try to slow him down. He was just working him out there. Very nice to see for, like I said, the young, very young 22-year-old defensive player of the year, his first playoff run, which leads me to think breakdown on the Wemby legacy talk. As we have it now, Wemby is 22 years old, the youngest player to win the award after Jaren Jackson, I believe, who was 23 years old, and some other guys. But long story short, this is rare territory for Wemby. He could be the only player in history to win the Defensive Player of the Year, youngest, and reach the conference finals. Wait, y'all. Like I said, youngest Defensive Player of the Year ever, and reached the conference finals at just 22 years old. And now you putting him in conversations with Tim Duncan, Shaq, Hakeem, but earlier than all of them. And that's what's crazy. That's what's the difference between Wemby. He's not next, ladies and gentlemen. He's already arrived. Yes, he is here. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so incredible to think about. So dominant at such a young age. If he wins this series, like I said, he could be potentially the youngest player to win the Defensive Player of the Year and reach the conference finals. But if he loses, he's still the youngest Defensive Player of the Year. He's still an elite two-way force, and he still has time to grow, reach this situation again, come back and dominate the leagues for years to come. Like I said, it's very early for the Spurs and everything they have going on. Stephon Castle is very young. Wemby is very young. Vassell is young. Dylan Harper is young. Champagnie is young. And they still have room to grow. They have cap room. They have cap space. Very much draft capital. So much draft capital. If I say it the right, I'm clearing my words. Anyway, yes, they have so much capital over there. Do a great job at team development, player development, scouting. So they're not going to have any issues over there putting a real team, real contender around Wemby and their core group of guys for years to come. And that's what's so scary about them. It's so scary about the West because not only do you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, not only do you have this monster, multi-headed monster over there called OKC. Don't have Wemby and the Spurs who are up and coming. You have so many up and coming teams that could be very dangerous depending on how the draft turns out this year. If if Darren Peterson ends over there with Ace and the Utah Jazz, their offense could look very scary for years to come. We don't know what they're going to do with Luka this offseason with Lakers. We don't know if Bron is going to come back. We're going to talk about that later, though. But it's just a lot to think about, especially in the West for this team. Like I said, Wemby has so much time. He's so ahead of schedule to me. And if he didn't get hurt the last year with his blood clot, hopefully he continues to have great seasons like he did this year. He would have been two-time the youngest ever defensive player of the year. He would have won it when he was 21, and it would have been back-to-back, and it would have just been crazy. And it's already rarefied air for such a young player. This would look like early Giannis and KG in Minnesota. Greatness waiting on this moment. Now, we're going to talk about the other side of the spectrum in this series. Anthony Edwards. He's averaging 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 2.8 assists in his playoffs, but the numbers don't tell the full story. He had 36 points in game 4 in the takeover, and 32, 14, and 6 assists game 3 all around. But, is it elite burst or is it inconsistent control? If he wins this series, he beats a defensive player of the year, generational player, and gets to the conference finals for the 3rd year in a row, leads his team there again for the 3rd year in a row. That's superstar validation, and he's already did it twice previously, but against this team and coming back from being down 2-3. You lost Dante DiVincenzo. Julius Randle is nowhere to be found right now. So you have to put this team on your back against all these young studs over there for the San Antonio Spurs. This would really be a legacy stamping and defining moment for Anthony Edwards. Like I said, whoever wins this series, whether it be Wemby, whether it be Anthony, it will be a legacy defining moment for the both of them. That's just how incredible the matchup is. This is how it speaks to volumes to how incredible Ant-Man and Wembyonema is in this matchup. And it's just respect to both of them. But if Ant loses in this series, he's still a great talent, but not consistent. Is it? Because he's made it to the conference finals twice, but he hasn't reached that coveted finals. And would a window be closing on him because you have this OKC team, and then if you lose to the Spurs, they have now finally arrived. You have to get through them, and your running mate is Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert. So it will be some most definite questions in Minnesota if they lose this series. Now, if they win, it's still going to be some questions because it matters if they can get over that hump called OKC if they reach the conference finals. So they still have that problem to deal with, and they're under a man, no Dante DiVincenzo, and hopefully they have more health with Io and the rest of the crew. But you know how the playoffs are. Anthony Edwards still a little bit shaken up. He's looked better these last couple of games, but they still lost last night. So we'll see how that crumbles. Ant got that aura, but this decides if he gets the results. And that's the header for this series. Next in this series, we alluded to him several times. Let's talk about the swing piece, Julius Randle. He's averaging about 16 to 17 points per game and 7 to 10 rebounds in this series. Solid but not dominant. His career playoff performance stats are 19 points a game, 7.6 rebounds, and 4 assists on 42% shooting. Randle is not a true number one. He's very overqualified number 3 and a volatile number 2. But I have the stats on this that I want to get because Julius Randle in this series has been shooting very atrociously. And if I can pull up the stats real quick, but without losing my train of thought and making let me see. Julius Randle is averaging 14.8 points, 7 rebounds, and 1.6 in this series. 3.6 turnovers on 37% from the field goal, 21% from the 3, and 70% from the free throw. And that's just not gonna get it done. I don't care how you cut it, no matter how you put it. That's not gonna get it done, especially for this Minnesota team. So honestly, the question is not on Anthony Edwards. It's if the team around him and his co-star is built to help him win long term. And right now, it doesn't look like it because it's not the first time we have seen Julius Randle in this situation. He kind of looked like this last year in the playoffs with them. He still did his thing, but it was very inefficient. He did this with the New York Knicks. He put up numbers, but it was very inefficient. And he can rebound. He tries to find other ways to impact the game, but still at the end of the day, you impact the game the most when you're the number 2 by putting points on the scoreboard and putting balls in the motherfucking basket. And if you're not doing that, Julius Randle, at an efficient clip, then you're hurting your team more than you are helping them. And especially if you are only putting out 1.2 assists and you're dishing out about 4 turnovers a game, that's really not helping your team, especially against this young Spurs team because they like to run and jump and they run and gun it. Like that's the type of pace they like to play with. So you're not doing your team any favors by giving the ball up like that. You got it. Wemby is starting to flourish and grow right before our eyes. And you are the vet for your team, man. You have to, along with Rudy Gobert, have to put something out there for the front line, for your team. You have to have a backbone. You have to come out this next game and help Ant-Man. Take that scoring load off him. Take some of that pressure off him because your team needs it. Now we got to talk about another older man. We got something bigger. LeBron James. Dylan Brooks came to troll LeBron James as they got swept by the Thunder. the other night. Dylan Brooks is one of the biggest trolls in the NBA. We really miss you in Memphis. I miss that core. Miss Ja, Dylan, Bane, Jaren, and unfortunately Brandon Clarke. It's just been a lot of L's for Memphis, but I wanted to, man, this shit. Rest in peace, Brandon. LeBron James was swept by the OKC Thunder. No comeback, no control. Does he return to LA? Or is this the last run for King James? Will he retire? This doesn't hurt LeBron's legacy at all. To be honest, to me, he did what he had to do. He put his team on his back. They were missing their first star. They were missing their second star. And they still made it out the first round against a very good Houston team who still had their young core without KD, but they still made it. KD did play one game, and they still lost that game. LeBron James put his team on his back at the ripe old age of 41 and did what he was supposed to do. It was sad that they got bounced 4-0 against a OKC team, but thought deep. They have a very deep roster. They are very well constructed, and they are very young. Like, it's not so much that he could do at all. Just being honest with you, especially with the roster that the Lakers put around him. Did you see DeAndre Ayton? Like, he didn't try most of the games. It's very sad to see. Very boring to watch, honestly. But hey, some people do just treat the NBA like it's just a job. If you're not passionate about it, then hey, I don't know. But that's what he had to work with. Marcus Smart did his thing. It has been conversations that he might take a vet minimum to come back to LA. But what do you think about LeBron? But even legends don't always get storybook endings. And this is why, tonight matters. To give people their flowers while they're still here. LeBron James has probably never been my favorite player. He has been a favorite player that I love to watch. I don't hate any player. I did hate Steph Curry and KD, but that's neither here nor there. Younger man, I'm older now. But watching LeBron James through these years, it's been a delight. He has been a very incredible player, very dominant. Seeing him going to the finals for all those years in a row is very just thinking about now how the league has changed from then to now. Like, people, the same team haven't made it back to the finals back to back, let alone the same person. For him to do it so many times consecutively and be so dominant while he did it throughout the East, through so many eras of teams and people, it was just phenomenal to see. And you can't say anything but, like, it was incredible. Like, if you just being honest with yourself, to see him go against those Toronto Raptors teams and put belt to ass, to see him go against those Boston teams, whether it be Kevin Garnett, Rondo, and Paul Pierce, or it be Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and still put belt to ass, was incredible to see. To see him leave Cleveland, go to Miami, learn under my favorite player, Dwayne Wade, come back, learn how to be a champion, bring that title back to Cleveland was incredible to see. And for him to take his talents and tools to LA, revive their franchise, was very incredible to see. Wherever you go, it's box office with LeBron. No matter what he says, no matter what he does, it's going to get clicks, it's going to get quotes, it's going to get money. He's a money-making machine. Like, it's just LeBron. He has that type of aura. He has that type of pool. Shout out to you. But full circle, more than basketball, and this is why tonight matters. Like I said, you got Wemby starting a legacy and proving his. Rondo trying to hold on to his very tightly, like them tight ass braids in his head. LeBron deciding how his legacy is ending. But through all of it, life reminds us today that none of this is guaranteed. Basketball tells stories, but life itself, life decides how those stories end. And it has been Z to P with another episode of 3Ps in the pod. I wanted to get into the WNBA players, but it's 12 o'clock and it's a lot going on. I wish all my fans the best of love. Thank you for watching.